It is live. I heard the noise. So, hey, Internet friends, this is Magic Brad, Synergy Cafe, Synergy Collaborative, and Synergy this and that and the other thing. Today, we are talking again about meditation, and I've got my friend Damon Dickinson, and the question today, Damon, is do I have to sit cross-legged?
Yes, you must absolutely sit in a full cross-legged
Okay, I'll do it right
position
now.
to attain enlightenment.
Sarcasm. We can't make fun of these beginner meditators.
I have a funny story to tell.
Okay.
And actually, it's sort of like a koan in a way, a Zen koan. So there was a very spiritual man who did practice spiritually, spiritual practice, prayer, and meditation every day. And his practice was to go down to the river and wash his mango and eat his mango as he would pray and do his meditations. And one morning, while he was doing his practice, he became enlightened. And as he came back to the village, it was very obvious from, like, he was glowing and, like, had a completely different, stature about himself, his energy and everything. And everybody's like, oh my goodness, this man, their villager, they all knew him, Abdul is enlightened. And they're all gathered around him, and they said, Abdul, what did you do? How did you become enlightened? And he said, well, every day I go down to the river, and I wash my mango, and I pray and meditate. So the next morning, Abdul goes to do his morning ritual of going down to the river, and as he gets there, he finds the entire village washing their mangoes, sitting there praying and meditating while they eat their mangoes. And so the moral of the story is it the praying and meditating and washing your mango that creates enlightenment, or is it the discipline of meditation, or is it pure, spontaneous, serendipity, grace, mercy? What's the ingredient? What's the magic ingredient to, enlightenment?
Okay, I get your joke. They thought that washing the mango was the secret.
Well, maybe along with going down to the river and sitting by the rock.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Right, so some people think, well, you got to sit cross-legged and you got to do this thing with your fingers, otherwise it ain't going to work.
Right. Exactly. That there's any one method that will get us there. Now, I have found that there are particular practices that move me along faster and that feel better to me, and that I feel I'm, growing and moving in the direction that feels best to me in my spiritual growth. And very little of that has to do with my sitting, although my teacher is clear, not in a rigid, formal way, but when people ask, should I sit in a chair and postures and things, he does make some very specific suggestions that we do sit up, for one, because our spine is an antenna, and we don't rigidly force our back into a straight position because it has a natural curve to it, or even a couple of curves. But that sitting up as opposed to laying down, and he would even have us feel, if you're even just tilted back a little bit, or tilted forward or to the side a little bit, the difference that it makes. If you just think of like even a TV antenna, and you weren't getting good reception, if you start to move it around, it starts to tune in a little bit better. So a relaxed, a lot of people don't even know what that means anymore, since there's not really that many people with analog antennas anymore on their TVs. But having that natural straight position, or vertical position, does help for the energies to flow and to allow the higher vibrations to flow in through our crown and into the rest of our body. I had a formal Zen practice where we did sit on cushions and sit in different styles of lotus, and basically it's just, as you're starting, sit in what's comfortable. If you can do cross-legged, great, and continue to move into a more of a lotus position, which means your legs begin to fold over each other, or your ankles do. But that's not very comfortable for a great majority of people. And so quite often for me, actually sitting in a folded leg position, so my lower legs are folded underneath my thighs, and I'm kind of sitting on my heels, is by often the most comfortable position for me. But I still have to move around. If I'm sitting down like that, my legs will get a little numb, uncomfortable after maybe 15 minutes or so, and move around. And the more you do it, you become, and they even have chairs for that. So like in the Zen tradition, there's this like little square stool bench that you would sit on, so your legs folded under. They weren't, you weren't sitting right on your legs to kind of ease that tension on your knees and weight on your legs so they don't, lose circulation. I have a friend of mine who like sat in lotus for a whole weekend, his whole first like retreat, and literally had to go to the hospital and have surgery on his legs because he'd lost circulation to his legs.
Yeah, so essentially it's just about being comfortable. So you don't have to sit cross-legged, but if it is comfortable for you, because I've known of people that sit on those little pillows just so their tailbone is up and off the floor or whatever, and it's a little more comfortable. So the natural curve of your spine is best, where it's a relaxed state. So I think the essence of it is to be comfortable. So if it's comfortable sitting cross-legged, sit cross-legged.
Yeah, and even if you just want to sit in a chair that's naturally vertical, without letting your back rest too much on the back. Excuse me. I just had breakfast. Something's down my throat. Sitting on a chair, but not resting too much on the backrest. So actually sitting maybe like on the first half of the chair, so you're supporting your own back, is really a good way to feel that natural vertical position for your back, and to gain core strength muscles. And if that starts to hurt, then you can rest it, but starting to train yourself slowly to sit comfortably. And again, sitting in a chair so your legs are, your soles of feet are on the ground, works just as well too.
Okay, well, to summarize for our beginner meditators, you don't have to sit cross-legged, but if it's comfortable, please do so. And the essence is to be comfortable. Is there anything else, Damon, you want to share before we sign this one off?
No, I think that covers it.
Pretty basic. You don't have to, unless your guru tells you. Okay. Well,
yeah, if your guru tells you have to do anything, I'd be wary. It's a red flag when there's a have to, must, should.
Yeah, that's why I quit grade school. I graduated from high school. Anyways, that's it. Okay, peace, love, and happiness. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more. If you want to find us, just Google us. Thanks again, Damon.
Peace and blessings, brother.